Okay, so I'm not sure if I made my turmeric dip in my other video, but I'll go ahead and make it again because I probably make it differently now. And I don't measure anything. So here's one of the, oh, I gotta put this, let me fix this. Here is, okay, that's better. Here's one of the kefir that was straining the cream cheese. So normally it'll just, now see this one really is not as good as most of my kefir. Usually it plops in and it's fairly clean. But like I said, I really have been punishing my kefir because I've been keeping it in the fridge for sometimes 3 days, maybe 4 days. And so I have to get the rest of this. Now that I'm just making it, I use a regular spatula. This just has spaghetti sauce stains on it. And get the rest of it in there like that. But like I said, normally it doesn't look like this. It looks more solid, but it's so I guess it's not the best video, but there's your cream cheese. And I just throw that out. Okay, and so with the Budwig diet, we use organic flaxseed oil. And it's usually a 2 to 1. So I have like, this is about, it's really about like 4 tablespoons. It's like 1/4 cup, which is 4 tablespoons of cream cheese. So then 4 tablespoons of this, you'll use 2 tablespoons of flaxseed oil. The Budwig diet calls for 6 tablespoons of, they use cottage cheese. Some people use kefir cream cheese like I do because it's better if you, as long as you get it nice and thick, you can use it with the Budwig diet. But anyways, I can't eat 6 tablespoons of this cream cheese. I mean, 4 tablespoons is enough by the time I get done. So that's just to get it mixed so the oil doesn't splatter all over. Because in order for the oil to emulsify, or for it to bond to the cream cheese, you have to use a stick blender. So it's what they call emulsification, and what it does is it turns this fat-soluble oil into a water-soluble oil by virtue of emulsification. So the fast speed on this blender breaks the sulfur bonds on the cream cheese, and because the sulfur bonds on cream cheese and cottage cheese are real weak, and then the oil then goes and attaches to that where the sulfur was, or something like that. I know that's very simplistic, but and then that makes the oil water soluble instead of fat soluble. And we all know that your body can use and assimilate a water soluble molecule easier than a fat soluble molecule. Otherwise, if you just take a tablespoon of flaxseed oil and swallow it, or take it in a pill, your body's really not going to be able to use too much of it. You'll just waste it. So you go ahead. don't want to have any standing oil. That's how you know it's mixed. And like I said, this probably isn't the best cream cheese. It would have, really adhered really quite well if I didn't leave it in the fridge for so long. So that's the base of the Budwig diet. So whether you use cottage cheese or cream cheese, this is the basis of the Budwig diet for cancer. So because the oil is what goes to your cell wall and it heals your cell wall so that oxygen can get in. Not that oxygen kills anything, but like that Krebs cycle for cellular digestion, it can't even occur unless there's oxygen in the cell. So this oil at the cell wall creates a polarity, a correct polarity that allows the oxygen to flow in. Polarity meaning positive, negative. You know how things flow from positive to negative. So, and again, that's very simplistic. So, anyways, so that's the base. And then when they say when oxygen gets into the cell, whatever's in there will die off, because usually with a cancer cell, you don't just see the cancer inside the cell. It's not just a cancer cell, it's more like a plant cell, and there's parasites in there and viruses. Like every cancer, it seems they name it by the virus that is in the cell with it. It's like they all are in there having a party because there's no oxygen in the cell. So this allows the oxygen to get in because it changes the polarity of the cell wall, cell membrane, and so then all the viruses or parasites in the cancer cell, it dies. I mean, they die. And so that's how it works. That's how it helps to fight cancer. So I use ground red pepper, and I use a lot. Like 25 shakes. And then the paprika, I just kind of throw it in there, maybe 1 teaspoon of paprika. And the turmeric, I usually use maybe about a teaspoon. And I love the cumin. I use a little bit more than a teaspoon of cumin, maybe 1.5 or so. And then the flax seeds are I usually do them in the magic bullet. You don't want to you don't want to grind your flax seeds until you're ready to eat, because they only last for 15 minutes, because they also help with the energy that's in the flax seeds, helps with it creates activity, like it makes things move, and that's the whole point. You want things to be moving in the cell, out of the cell. You don't want anything stagnant. So you buy your flax seeds whole, organic flax seeds, Bob's Red Mill at Mark's. This is at Giant Eagle, but it's the cheap one. It's organic flax oil, plain, no lignans, because lignans are flax seeds ground up. Well, why would you want to grind them up and then put them in the oil to sit for, weeks and months? They'll go bad, they'll go rancid in here. So the Barlean's oil is $22. This was $11 at Giant Eagle. So I'm just going to grind them up. And so that goes in there. And then because the turmeric is in there and it's kind of bitter, I put about 2 teaspoons of honey in. And now you don't need to use the stick blender because the emulsification took place with the oil and the cream cheese. Now, it's pretty thick for me. I don't like to eat my dip this thick, and it gets thicker as it sits because the flax seeds will swell. And so normally if I have some chamomile tea or any kind of nice, good, healthy tea, even green tea, if I have it in the fridge, just still cold, because you don't want it hot because you'll kill everything, I'll pour that in. But guess what? I don't have any. So I'm just going to water it down. I hate to do that, and Dr. Budwig would kill me if she saw me using water, because her motto is make sure it's got a vitamin in it, a juice or a tea or something that's good for you. Because cancer patients, you know, they can't be taxing their bodies with all that fluid and liquid unless there's some sort of a vitamin component to it. So that's about how I like mine. And then what I do is my raw vegetables, my carrots, my celery, my peppers, my sweet peppers, I put salt on those. So I don't put salt in here. And I don't put garlic in here because I don't want to offend people. I should though. But usually I don't. And it does taste good with garlic powder. Even just garlic powder in here. It tastes good. So that's it. That's the turmeric dip. It's very, very good. And you could put nuts in here, and I mean, you could just go hog wild. The Brazil nuts are so good and full of selenium. I was putting those in here, and but they're so expensive. I stopped doing that. So, okay, bye.